Hey there, this is Frank Klesitz with Viral Marketing, and you're watching another interview about our recruiting project. It's, as of now, it's a 6-month project with class every single week. It's a live class that I teach in a small group of about 8 agents. We get together on Zoom once a week with a lesson, live, once a week for an hour on Zoom. And then you have a one-on-one call with my business partner, John, to kind of personalize the material. And over the course of 6 months, because you have an existing job and you have to go probably sell houses and go do things, you can't do it all like in, a week. Over the course of 6 months, we basically lay brick by brick by brick by brick everything you need to start essentially kind of a coaching company, to be honest with you. But it's really more for recruiting existing talent in your MLS to bring agents to your team. And the format's very simple. You can go take a look at the syllabus online. It's you basically start with an agent training newsletter where you publish agent training content, which you market on Facebook and send out emails to people to watch. And you bring them to a monthly, maybe every 2 months event, all right? And then you bring it to a one-on-one meeting, and then you make an offer to join the team. I got Dave here, someone who's calling him because he's a busy man, and those are
recruits. Is that me or is that you?
That's you. Those are recruits calling you saying they're so excited to join your team after watching all your agent training videos, right, Dave?
That's right. Absolutely.
Yep. But Dave's in Charleston, and I've known him quite some time through Viral Marketing. He's been a wonderful Viral Marketing client. But I want to interview you, Dave, about this was a big commitment. Well, maybe not so much with time, but more like your identity of switching from an agent and someone who's building a business, selling homes, to like a leader and trainer of other agents in the MLS. And I want to interview you about maybe why you took this course and what you learned through it. And I know you had Christina, who's one of your recruiters, go through it. So you may not know all the exact details, which I understand. But let me ask you this first question. You've been doing Viral for a while. I came out with this course, this 6-month course. And you're like, sign me up, let's do it. Tell me what state you were in and why you knew and why you liked this approach that I presented to you for recruiting agents to your team.
Yeah, the reason it was very attractive is because it was a very, very well laid out system that was repeatable by anybody that you wanted to run it if you were not running it yourself, and something that seemed like it would provide consistent results. And we decided to treat our recruiting effort on our team just like our lead generation effort, with generating buyer and seller leads and converting those into clients. And so we decided to view the recruiting aspect of it the same exact way. So we hired somebody as our director of talent, and we were just looking for a system for them to run on.
So why the Viral system? There's a lot of people teaching how to recruit out there. There's no lack of recruiting systems or methodologies. Why this one? Why this method?
First of all, I believe in Viral, and I believe anything that Frank puts out, I think is awesome, and I'm willing to do it because I believe it's going to work. And the reason is,
I did not pay him earlier to say that.
He really didn't. But I'm really good at just ripping off and duplicating things that work well for other people instead of trying to recreate the wheel. That way we can get to where we want to go faster. And I can't think of anything that Frank has put out that we've tried and it didn't work. And I'm pretty sure I've tried everything that you put out. So
I think you have. You really have.
Yeah, we really have. And it's always been at the right time for us too. Sometimes something will come out and it's just not the right time for us. But when we do get around to it, I'm usually asking Frank if he has a solution. So
thanks, man.
A lot of it was just, I've always had a good experience with you in Viral. And I know that you go really, really, really deep into content when you're looking to deliver an outcome, and you really have a 360-degree view of what it's going to take to impact the outcome that you're looking for. And again, going back to proven and repeatable, and yet, a 6-month course is it's 6 months, but once you get this project completed, it's actually pretty easy to continue to run.
Good. So why don't you tell everyone who's not familiar with you that kind of where you're at in your business production-wise and staff-wise for you to make the decision to do this? Like that.
Sure.
Started.
Yeah, so I started 2013, sold 30 homes. Made my first hire in 2014 and was really bad at recruiting and hiring. And 2014, we finished with 60 deals. And then 2015, we finished with 120. 2016, we ended up doing 190. And then 2017, 240 this year. Or I'm sorry, 270. And then this year we'll do about 400.
So you were just on track to scaling up to 400 homes when you decided to do this.
Yeah. And I should have done this a year and a half ago. And the reason we wanted to hit 400 deals last year, we wanted to go from 190 to 400. And the reason we didn't is because we didn't have the right people and enough of them. Mm-hmm. And that's when it became very apparent that the system that we had in our team worked really well as it related to generating leads, converting them, and having the operation foundation to keep the train on the tracks. And what we realize is the only thing that's between where we are today and where we want to go are the right people. And the reason that we missed our goal that year is because we didn't have enough of the right people. And that's when the light bulb went off. And I had my sales manager recruiting. I started recruiting, and then he started recruiting. And we realized quickly that it was at the level that we want to go play at this scaling game. We realized that we needed a full-time person. So we actually hired a
full-time recruiter.
Yeah.
Great. So you hire a full-time recruiter. Why don't you just tell them what was their job description?
Job description. So the job description is to act as a hiring manager and as a recruiter. And the further we get along in this process, we realize that the position is really a recruiter. And so we do have a lot of postings on job boards. And so she'll go through and vet all of the resumes and then walk them through several different assessments that we send the candidate, do a phone screen. Then we have 2 in-person interviews that total about 4 hours. We'll have a group interview that the candidate has a chance to meet the team. The team has a chance to say whether they like them or not. Then we go into references, and then we get back together as a team and review all the content and make sure we want to hire the person. And that's her job description, or that's her job duty and the way that she's held accountable to it. So just like lead generation, we have a sales funnel for our recruiting and a whole pipeline report that we track on a weekly basis and meet on. And what we realized was not working is that we need probably 300 applicants on job boards to apply for us to find one good person. Yeah. And what we realized is that we needed a better way of finding higher level recruits that would come to us. Yeah, absolutely. That would come to us and find the systems that we had to help them in their business appealing. So we had to get ourselves out there and tell our story and attract talent to us. And also in an effort of now that we're outbound calling talent to try to recruit them to our team, they already know who we are because they're already receiving content from us.
So I came to you and said, with the premise of, Dave, you sell a lot of houses. You're definitely in the top 1% of producers. Let's start holding business planning clinics around town where you put a bunch of agents in a room and teach them for 3 hours to write a business plan, to bring them clarity on what to do. And let's start publishing agent training videos and getting them out to all the agents. Let's just deem yourself as Charleston's best real estate trainer. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, tell me the thought process. I want to hear about maybe was that easy for you of oh yeah, I could do that? Or is that maybe a challenging jump of what I asked you to do?
I think if you had asked me to do that in 2013, my mindset changed from 2013 to 2014. I went from, scarcity mindset to abundance mindset and into contribution mindset. So I would say that I could have myself in 2013 would not want to share what I do, and I wouldn't want to coach other agents that I compete against in my market. But the Dave today was totally okay with that. And to the extent that we help these agents build a business plan. We help them identify what's working, what's not working, and how to coach them around that.
Mm-hmm.
I bring top agents on my team also, and we do a panel where they can ask people on my team what they're doing. So we're very open. And then also to incentivize people to come to the event, I made a copy of my entire Google Drive that has my entire playbook. And when people come, we give it to them. So when they show up, they register, and after the event, we literally share my entire Google Drive with them.
So you made this jump to like a real estate leader and trainer. And I make the argument, I think it's like if you sell more than 9 homes a year, it puts you in the top percentile of agents.
Yeah.
So if you make 9 homes a year, by that definition, you have the credibility to train others.
Yeah, right.
So you deemed yourself this trainer. It probably wasn't that difficult for you given the situation you were in, but that's really what I asked you to do is let's just start training the entire MLS on saying you have the best way of selling real estate, and that's the systems and models you have in place on your team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you did it. Now, what's unique with you, Dave, is you've been fortunate to basically have a recruiter or a director of talent that you put in the course of Christina. So why don't you tell me how you worked with her and the feedback you got from her, because she had to execute this while she was in class. So tell me about the process working with her, and did she like it? Was she freaking out about doing this when you enrolled her in it?
You know what? She did not freak out. She's a super coachable person. She's always open to change and improvement. And she is an incredibly hard worker. And so that combination made it really easy because she set time aside to implement everything that you wanted her to do. And at the same time, continuing to do her job, which was to continue to recruit. So, and the way that you break up the coursework, it makes it very feasible to implement everything within the time frame that you expect, because it's never too much work in the
Yeah, you like how I brought it into little bricks every week.
Totally. Absolutely. Like small bite-sized chunks. No one's going to eat the sandwich with one giant bite. So, it's literally just small chunks every single week to roll out. And all of it had an impact. We get more leads, we get more higher quality leads at a lower expense. And we've also, I think it's also done some great things for our real estate team in general, where when we're negotiating contracts and working with other realtors, they sometimes ask us for advice because they feel like they can, because they feel like we're providing value in the market anyway. And so it's actually made some of the real estate deals for my agents easier also. So
the process is really 4 steps. You start an agent training website where you publish agent training videos, business coaching videos, teaching the systems and models that you have on your team. And then the whole goal is to build an audience of agents locally that you make an offer to come to your business planning workshop, which is the same standardized 3-hour, I go through the pillars of my business to help you write a business plan to bring clarity, because many agents have commission confusion of what to do to get results because there's so much distraction out there, right? And then from that in-office, in-person, actual real live workshop, not online, all right, you offer a one-on-one meeting to personalize their business plan, which can probably turn into, at the very end, saying, hey, you can go take all this risk on your own, or we can shoulder a lot of this risk and you can do the same things and probably make more money in less time if you just kind of join an organization, right? So have you held a business planning clinic? Have you done an event?
We have. We've had, I can't remember how many we've had now. Yeah, we've had maybe half dozen, 6 or 7.
Wow. And what's been the turnout?
Turnout's great. We've learned through it. We picked a couple of settings that were a little noisy, so people had a challenge hearing us. We got good feedback on. We send out a feedback request form after the event.
Yeah.
So they rate us to see how the event was.
Dave, you've had a whole bunch of agents in your MLS show up to your trainings.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Pretty cool. And the result of it is they've gotten better over time. The feedback's gotten better. And we're getting more people asking us to meet with us to join our team.
So you really are attracting agents to you. You're not placing outbound calls, prospecting them, saying, are you unhappy with your at? Come to the Dave Friedman team.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And talent wants to be with talent, and some of the stuff that we have to say is, going to not be appealing to everybody, but the people that are really talented out there are going to be attracted to what we're talking about and want to be a part of it, to the extent that, they're asking us to meet with us to join our team.
Great.
And we're also getting, and even the ones that feel like they're not a good fit, some of them have come up. We usually talk to everybody afterwards, and there's been some that have come up and said, this is fantastic and great. And they're from all different kinds of brokerages. And they'll say, hey, there's a couple people I have in mind in my brokerage that I think could benefit from this. Do you mind giving them a call? So we're also getting referrals from other people that are very experienced agents that are referring talent over to us. And these are agents I've never met before.
So this is just creating the environment where people seek you out to work with you, where you're attracting people, not hounding them on the phones.
Correct. Yeah.
Good. Do you have any idea how many agents you've recruited from this whole process?
I'd have to check with Christina, but I can tell you this. I know
working?
It is working, and I can tell you that since we started this, we had a challenge at hitting our recruiting goals. And since we started this, we've doubled the amount of offers that we've extended to people within a quarter. We measure everything per quarter, so 13 weeks, 90 days, and we're extending double the amount of offers in a 90-day period than we were prior to having this set up. And the reason
it's interesting how you measure that and doubling the offers, not how many agents you recruited. You said doubling the offers. Why that? Why not how many agents you brought on?
Well, right now we are, it only happens to be because I was looking at the metrics right before we jumped on this call. And so let me see here. So it's actually, it's also double the amount of new hire starts. I'm looking at our spreadsheet right now.
So you've doubled the number of agents.
Yeah.
In the recruiting pipeline. How many agents are you onboarding a month? New ones?
We just had 3 start August 9th. We have another 3 starting September 9th. And so we're doing about 3 a month, and the date that we have our starts commit to is the 9th of the month.
That's great. Good, man.
Yeah, we start. Yeah. So it's been phenomenal. We have some pretty hefty recruiting goals right now, not just for instance, we're building out a lead generation department. We're hiring 6 proven talent ISAs to report to a director of lead generation that we just hired, which, by the way, also came from these recruiting efforts. So all of the ISAs that we just hired, that all have a massive track record in inside sales.
Great.
We're generated through this. Our director of lead gen, who's a very dominant figure in our industry, who, when she left her previous role, received 4 offers from different companies. And I believe because of the vision that we were able to cast with our website and everything, really lured into even applying with us. And so I attribute all these hires to this, even outside of the workshops that we're doing.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been powerful.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, thank you, Frank. It's been incredible.
Cool. You might take this for granted, but tell me how your life and your business has changed when you went from being a real estate agent to a trainer of real estate agents.
It feels really good. I mean, just like the selfish aspect of it, it feels really, really good to give back to everybody else because so many people have given to us. In addition to that, I would say that a lot of team leaders out there have a really tough time. This is like kind of the darker side of it, but a lot of team leaders out there have a really tough time letting go of non-performers on their team. And it's generally because they don't have enough people.
Yeah, they stopped the recruiting.
So they keep a lot of poor performers on their team, which brings down everybody because they don't have a pipeline to bring into the organization, right? If you just had an abundance of talent coming in, you'd be willing to drop the bottom 20% in a heartbeat if you needed to, right?
Yeah.
But most people are hostage to the folks they have in their team because they don't have a bench of people to bring in and consistent recruits. And so the one thing that's really changed in my life, in our director of sales life, and And our director of lead gen will also realize this, once her department is built out, is that when we have a consistent pipeline of talent, it really helps us be more subjective to actual results of each person on the team, and not trying to hang on to people because of the necessity that we need people. So that is probably the biggest change. And going back to the reason that we didn't grow the amount that we wanted to is because we didn't have enough of the right people. When you have enough people coming in the door through this process, you're able to find those people and retain. We all want to retain all of them, but the fact is they don't all work out. 27% of the people we bring on our team don't work out. And we recruit to gross that goal up, knowing that we're going to lose that amount of people.
Okay. A couple of questions specific to the course. You've been through lots of coaching, and we're not a coaching company, just so you know. Like, we're an advertising agency. So we just created these courses, as I would call maybe more like premium account management, or like you needed some marketing executed, so we got it done in like more guided format. But you've been through a lot of different programs. What makes this recruiting program unique from everything else out there?
What makes it unique is, there's some programs out there that offer to do some of the vetting or generate some of the leads, or scrub the list for you and toss you the top candidates and so on. And that's fine. And at the same time, you're constantly like tied to that person doing that for you, right? Where what's really set this aside, and then there's the other programs out there that just teach you how to, they'll teach you how to generate talent, and you can do it internally. I like the internal project because it's not that hard to set up. It's not that hard to run, and we own it, right? So we're going to find better core value fits and better culture fits than somebody outside of our organization could. And in addition, the ones that do teach you how to do things internally, none of them have gone as deep as you have in how to deliver the content, how to put content out into the market to attract talent, how to organize these events, the goals with each step of the process, and provide consistent results. I just don't see anybody delivering a proven, repeatable process that's as deep as the one that you've created. And I think that's what sets it apart.
Cool. Thanks, man. So if you could sum up the results from this so far, this has doubled the offers you've made to agents without really any additional outbound prospecting.
None.
No outbound prospecting.
We actually don't even do any outbound prospecting for talent right now.
No outbound prospecting for talent. I like that.
We should.
We all should. We don't really have to.
It's working well. We actually decided that in the next couple of weeks here we're going to start doing that, only because we just want.
It's a good pillar. It makes the pillar complete.
It does. Right? It does.
It's not the most soul sucking thing you have to do only with that. Plus, when you call, you're leading with like, come to my workshop or watch my videos, not recruit them right away.
Right.
That's great.
Yeah,
this is good for me.
That's where the calls are going to be.
Taking lots of notes on your talk right here.
Get it?
Good. Okay, someone's thinking about doing this. What stage of their business do they need to be in, and give them advice to be successful?
I think if you have the vision of building a team, we use this not just for recruiting agents, but we use this for recruiting like director type talent and also operations. So if you are interested in building a team, you have to always be recruiting. You have to treat it no different than, lead generating for buyers and sellers. And so, I mean, you have to start getting serious on this, like almost right away, if you want to build a team. If you just want to bring one person in because you're too busy, or you might bring another person in because the two of you are too busy, and you're just going to kind of peter out around there, and you don't want to build a team. And you don't even have to necessarily want to build a 7th level business, but if you want to build any kind of organization, you have to always be recruiting. Again, that's where we made the mistake, is is to get us where we want to go. It just requires at this point the right people. And we figured that out too late.
What advice do you have for somebody to do this?
Say that one more time.
What advice do you have to an agent that's looking to enroll in this program? Specific add-on course that I have for recruiting.
Yeah. Go to Viral Marketing and find this course, look it up, find out the next time they're going to offer it, and then sign up for it.
That's good. Any tips to be successful at it? Maybe anything that you should have done better going through it?
I would do. So one thing that we learned throughout the entire process is we thought that we were doing some of this stuff. And so there were weeks that we got up to and it's like, oh, I think we already are doing this, right? And when we actually looked back on it and reviewed the video and the content, we weren't doing it to the level that we needed to be doing it. And so I think if I could go back and do it over again, we would make sure that we executed on every single nook and cranny of this program the right way the first time, opposed to thinking that we had parts of it figured out already. And I'm really good at just having blind faith that if it's worked for somebody else, it's going to work for me. And just
it did.
What was that?
It did.
It did.
Yeah.
And not trying to put my twist or tweak on it and just implementing it the way that it was designed and we'll see how it works for us. And maybe over time we'll change it. However, I would just recommend to implement all aspects of it to get everything out of it that you can.
Cool. Dave, what's your agent training website?
DaveFriedmanCoaching.com.
Because you could take it either as a team. There's lots of different ways you can take it. Cool. So everyone go there, Dave Friedman Coaching. Check it out. Dave, thank you so much for your insight today, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.